everyone, it's Jananie and welcome back to my channel, This Story Ain't Over. So today I want to do kind of a overall TBR for the rest of the year. It is like October 23rd, I think, when I'm filming this, and I am just really excited for 2020 to be over, but there are about 2 months left of the year, a little bit more than 2 months left of the year, and I have a lot of books that I really want to either finish reading or get to reading before the end of the year. So I'm walking you through all those books today. There are a bunch. This is a bit ambitious. I'm probably gonna fail at actually reading all of these books, but we're gonna try anyway. So first I want to walk through the books that I'm currently reading that I really hope to finish before the end of the year and hopefully within like the next month. So one of the books I'm currently in the middle of is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I'm actually reading this on my e-reader right now while I wait for my Owl Crate edition to come. There's a special edition that is coming from Owl Crate. It's shipping out at the end of this month, so I'm patiently waiting for it, and in the meantime I'm reading it on ebook from the library, and I am just really excited by this book. There have been really great reviews and there's just been so much buzz for this book, but it is one of V.E. Schwab's adult books, and it follows this girl who makes a deal with the devil to live forever, and in exchange he makes it so that everyone she meets forgets who she is. And so she lives this kind of invisible life. And so I'm not very far in this book yet. I think I'm like 6% in on my e-reader here. So I haven't really gotten a full sense of what it's gonna be like, but so far I'm enjoying it. I love kind of the voice of it. And I do feel like it's gonna be one of those books that leaves like a really lasting impression, which is what I've heard from a lot of people. So I'm super excited about that. Another book that I'm currently reading is The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I'm finally getting to this and I'm actually so proud of myself because I got this arc at BookCon last year in June of 2019, back before the pandemic, and I meant to pick it up all of 2019 and never ended up doing it. And then I think I did pick it up at some point and read like 50 pages and then ended up not continuing for some reason. So I finally picked it up for spooky season this month and I am really enjoying it. I think I'm about 150 pages in, so I'm a decent way through and I'm excited to finish it, and I actually am enjoying it a lot more this time that I started it, because I remember last time when I started it and got through like 50 pages, I really wasn't feeling it. I kind of felt bored and I couldn't remember what happened, but this time it was like so vivid when I was reading it. So I think it just goes to show like it depends on the mood and like the vibe that you go into a book with that also impacts your reading. So really excited to finish this book up. And then another book that I've been currently reading for like a few months now is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor by Hank Green. I don't know why I haven't finished this yet. I mean, I do know why. A lot of other books have kind of come up in between, and so I haven't really prioritized this, even though I was super excited when this came out and like bought it immediately and started reading it immediately. But I am like 150 pages in and I just haven't moved past that. I do have the audiobook, so hopefully I'll have the chance to kind of sit down with that and really just dig into this book. I think it's because I have really high hopes for this after an absolutely remarkable thing, and so I'm like kind of scared that I'm going to be let down. And also this book is kind of told in multiple perspectives versus the one perspective of the first book, so that's kind of tripping me up too, but I really want to finish it. I'm determined to finish it before the end of the year, and I think despite my worries it's gonna be amazing. And then the last book that I'm currently in the middle of that I'm hoping to finish before the end of the year is A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, so another V.E. Schwab that I need to finish. This is one that I've been currently reading for like 2 years now, and I think how far am I? I'm like 50 pages in, so technically it's not really a current read because I read 50 pages like 2 years ago and then haven't picked it up since then. But I really do want to finish this book and finish this series off before the end of 2020. I know there's like a sequel series coming, or like a continuation of the Shades of Magic series, so I'm excited for that. It's called Threads of Power and I cannot wait to see where that goes. And I do really like this series, but I do feel like it was a lot slower than V. Schwab's other books for me, and just in general. Although I really liked the characters, I just didn't feel like the plot moved quick enough for me, which is part of the reason why it took me forever to also get through A Gathering of Shadows. So yes, this one's a whopper, but I have heard that this one is really great, so hoping to finish it very soon. All right, so the rest of the books on this video are a bunch of books that I'm just hoping to finish before the end of the year. Most of these are new releases that kind of came out this year that I was super excited for. I just haven't gotten around to being able to pick them up. Like, I've had to read other books, and so they've just kind of been pushed back. So I really want to get to all of them before the end of the year, and so I feel like I've been like saving the best books for the end of this year, which is quite exciting. So cannot wait for that. So the first couple books that I want to read before the end of the year, I'm mentioning them together because I decided to pick up one of them because of the other one. But those two books are The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and then the other one is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. This I got from Owl Crate. It was like a special edition, so they sent it to me for free, and that was very nice of them, so thank you to Owl Crate. And all I know about this is that it's a dark academia book, and I've just recently been in like a super mood for dark academia books, so that's why I want to pick this up. And then because of my mood for dark academia books, I wanted to pick up The Secret History because I know this is the inspiration behind a lot of dark academia stuff, and I do believe it's very similar to If We Were Villains, or If We Were Villains is very similar to this, I guess, since that was inspired by this. So yes, I have no inclination or desire to read The Goldfinch. I know that's the one that won the Pulitzer, but this one I'm interested in because it's kind of a murder mystery and it's got the dark academia vibes, and that's basically all I really want for this time of year. So excited to pick this up as well. All right, next I have a couple of sequels, the first of which is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin. I've mentioned before that I really want to pick this up very soon. I really enjoyed Serpent and Dove, which I always pitch as a kind of witch and witch hunter romance set in a fantasy world inspired by France. So yeah, there was like a killer ending to Serpent and Dove, and I'm really interested to see where it goes in the sequel. So this is just one of those like sequels and new releases that I've been putting off picking up, but I definitely hope to pick it up before the end of the year and find out what happens. And I do believe that there's going to be another book in this series as well, so I'm interested to see where it's all gonna go. Another sequel that I'm super excited to pick up before the end of the year is The Silvered Serpents by Roshni Chokshi. If you watched one of my most recent videos, which was my top 10 favorite YA fantasy books, you know that Gilded Wolves is one of my all-time favorite books ever, and I have been dragging my feet on like reading this sequel because I've heard some really amazing things about it, and I'm just like really excited to just finally have this. But it's like one of those situations where it's like you're excited about the chocolate, so you're like waiting until the end to like eat it because you just want to save it and savor it. So that's kind of how I'm feeling with this, and I love all the characters in this series, and I just really want to know what happens with Lila and Severin. So that romance is probably gonna destroy me, and just overall excited for this book. And I've like actually heard so many great things about it, and that it was like even better than the first one, so I have really high hopes for it. Hopefully I'm not disappointed, but I don't think I will be. Another addition to a kind of series slash universe that I'm hoping to pick up is The Lives of Saints by Leigh Bardugo. This is a little miniature piece of work that is being added to the Grishaverse, and this is inspired by this little book that Alina has in the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and it's called The Lives of Saints, and it also looks red, and it's got these like little stories of these saints in the Grisha world inspired by the Rovkin saints. And so apparently in the Netflix TV show that is coming, the characters actually have like a book that looks like this, like The Lives of Saints, so it looks like that book in the show. So I'm very excited by that. It's just a collection of like little stories, and I remember loving the world building in Shadow and Bone series, another one of my all-time fave fantasy series. And so I'm just excited to like get another window into the world and have a little like collection of stories to read. All right, the next book that I'm hoping to pick up before the end of the year is Super Fake Love Song by David Yoon. This is David Yoon's new book. He is the author of Frankly in Love, which was one of my all-time favorite books from last year, and like continues to be one of my all-time favorites because it was just such a well done contemporary. But this is the author's new book. It's coming out in November, I believe, and this is the ARC copy, so I really want to read this, but I've had to read other books, so I've had to put this off, so it's kind of killing me, but I'm very excited for it. And honestly, I don't know a lot about this. All I know, it kind of involves like a fake situation. The main character is kind of pretending to be the like lead guitarist or something of a band to kind of impress this girl that kind of misunderstands that he's part of this band, and that's about all I know about it. But based on how much I loved Frankly in Love, I think that I'm gonna equally love this one. This one has also gotten quite a few awards and things and great reviews. And I think what I love about David Yoon's writing is that it's kind of similar to John Green. It's very contemplative and slightly pretentious, but really gets into that kind of literary-ish vibe of YA, which I love. So really excited to pick this up. All right, another new release that I really need to pick up very soon is Sky Hunter by Marie Lu. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I love Marie Lu. I love all of her books. She is like one of my all-time favorite authors, and anytime she puts out a book, I automatically buy it. So this is one of them. It automatically came to my house because I pre-ordered it, and I am so excited about it, but I know next to nothing about it. All I know is that it's kind of a dystopian, and it involves like a military thing and like a revolution, I think. But I love this cover. It is so gorgeous, and I realized this after I got it and had seen some pictures online, but this is the inside of the book without the dust jacket, and it's freaking gorgeous. So yeah, just this whole package is just making me very excited and happy. And also, if you look on the side, it also says Sky Hunter on the pages. Like, could a book flex any more than this? I think not. But yes, on the back it says, "My name is Talon. I am a striker for Mara, the last free nation on this side of the sea. We are legendary bringers of death, assassins of monsters, and the only thing standing between our home and annihilation." Bum bum bum. I love it. I think it's gonna be great. Yeah, so basically Mara is like this last free nation in this like confederation, and they are constantly attacked by these things called ghosts, which are like these mutant war beasts. And so in Mara they have these like legendary strikers who are trained to fight the ghosts, the mutant war beasts. But the ghosts are kind of growing in number, and the Karenza Federation that is like attacking Mara is gaining control. And so Talon is one of these strikers, and I think one of the inciting incidents is when a like mysterious prisoner is brought to the war front, and Talon thinks that there might be something more to this prisoner than meets the eye, and it might be the key to saving them all, which I think is interesting. I feel like this is giving me a lot of Legend series vibes. Like, I think this is the closest thing that she's written to the Legend series since that debut, so I'm excited for that, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, another book that came out this year that I'm really hoping to get to before the end of the year, that I was super excited about when I heard about it, is the Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. This is an Owlcrate edition, I believe, and I was super excited about this book when I heard about it, just because I love King Arthur stuff, hence why I loved Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. But yeah, I know Kirsten White has written the Anne Darkin series, but I've never actually read that series. I've never read anything by her. I did want to read The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein, but anyways, I was really interested by this, and I love that it was from the perspective of Guinevere. It's just like one of those books that I was like really interested in the concept. I just didn't really know much more about it. And then I got the copy from Owlcrate, and so I really wanted to pick it up. I just haven't really gotten around to it. So basically this book is like starting with Guinevere coming to Camelot to marry Arthur, but secretly she's supposed to also be like his protector, which I think is just a really interesting kind of situation, and I am excited to see how it goes. I have heard like mixed opinions on this book, so I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't picked it up yet. So if you have read it, let me know what you thought of it. All right, the second last book on this list that I'm really hoping to pick up before the end of the year is The Midnight Lie by Marie Rukowski. So if you have watched my recent video, my top 10 favorite YA fantasies, then you know Marie Rukowski is like one of my favorite authors. She wrote the Winners trilogy, which I absolutely loved. And so when I found out that she had another book coming out, I was like, yes, please give it to me now. I pre-ordered it and everything. This came out earlier in the year, and then I didn't even crack it open. Just another release that I have somehow neglected, and it's like so weird to me because when I was younger, I used to like rip into new releases all the time, but recently I've been noticing that like I get really excited about them and I order them, and then I never pick them up when they're actually out. I end up like waiting a little bit before I pick them up, which I don't know if I like or not. But regardless, I really want to read this. I have heard like semi-mixed things about this, but it is set in the same world as the Winners trilogy. This one does have magic in it though, and it also has a sapphic romance, which is all I really needed to pick this book up, and that was all I really needed to convince me that I wanted to read it. But yeah, I just kind of don't know what to expect with this one, so I think that's another reason why I haven't picked it up yet, but really hoping to read and finish it before the end of the year. All right, and the last book that I'm hoping to pick up is a whopper, and it also matches my shirt today, and that is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. So this is Christopher Paolini's new book. It is a sci-fi, an adult sci-fi, and he is the author of the Aragon series, or the Inheritance cycle, I think it's called, and that was one of my favorite fantasy series when I was a kid. It's kind of a YA series, but the main character kind of ages a lot throughout the series, and it's really epic fantasy, kind of Lord of the Rings-ish, but with like a lot of dragons and some really horrible creatures and a really interesting villain as well, and a lot of like backstory that you're like getting pieces of along the way, and it's just a really epic kind of fantasy. You are seeing the main character kind of travel a lot and learn a lot of things about magic and different races like elves and dwarves and that kind of thing, and slowly come into his position as a dragon rider, which I thought was super cool. So it's one of my favorite series like of all time, and it holds a really large place in my heart. Like, it just takes up space rent-free in my mind. So when I found out that Christopher Paolini was writing another book and that it was going to be a sci-fi, I was like, yes, please give it to me now. And this is another book that recently came out, and I have yet to pick it up, but I've heard so many amazing things about it. But once again, I literally know nothing about this. Like, all I know is that it's a sci-fi, it's a female main character, and it involves some sort of war, I think. But one of the things that I think Christopher Paolini does really well is like managing a really vast world, but still letting you feel like you know it really well and know its characters really well. And even though there are so many characters, you still still like know significant things about them and care for them. So yeah, overall I'm just like really excited to just experience more Christopher Paolini and also get a sense of his writing as an older writer now, because when he wrote The Inheritance Cycle he was much younger. He was like in his teens and like early 20s, and so this is him much later. So I'm also interested to see how his writing has changed and maybe improved. So we'll see how it goes, and if you have read this, please let me know, because I really want to know how it is. But yes, that could go for basically any of the books on this list. Please let me know if you have read them, if you are thinking about reading them, and let me know what you thought of them, because I definitely think that will help me kind of prioritize which ones I want to read first before the end of the year. But yeah, there's a lot of books on this list, and I only have 2 months left of this year, so I really need to hustle. I've only read like 44 books this year, which is quite a lot for like some people and not a lot for other people. It really just depends. I think the average amount of books that I read every year is about like 60 to 100 books, so I'm like quite under my usual, so I'm hoping to kind of bring that number up. But this is also like the first year that I've been working full-time the entire year from January to December, so that's one factor for my reading. And also it's just been pandemic year and madness 2020, so I think I can forgive myself. But yeah, definitely hoping to get to all of these books before the end of the year, and I just cannot wait for all of the good stuff. I feel like I've left a lot of good stuff for the end of the year, so I cannot wait. But yes, once again, let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, but also let me know what you guys are planning to read before the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video, and please remember that this story ain't over. Bye!